The CEO of his own clothing company. This man is expanding his imagination through literature and imagery. He shares his emotions and feelings through his art. That is what makes him the entrepreneur and future and up-and-coming designer of our generation. Norwalk Community College presents Person to Person, a show that gives exposure to talent in the state of Connecticut. Now welcome your host, Isaiah Hines.
Welcome to Person, a talk show where we interview someone of interest who can share the answers to questions we want to know. I'm your host, Isaiah Hines, and our guest today is a fashion designer of our generation and the CEO of his own clothing line, Antonio Cuevas. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
When you went to UConn, you were in digital media.
Mm-hmm.
In what way did that carry out to your career you're in now?
So what digital media did is that it introduced me to like the tools that I would later on use throughout like my creative process. Mm-hmm. So I can't draw, I don't have an embroidery machine, I don't have a sewing machine. Mm-hmm. So my tools, my paintbrushes and like all the sculpting stuff I use is basically just Premiere, After Effects, and Photoshop.
Okay, so why did you decide to become a fashion designer?
I mean, to clarify that, I'm actually going towards design. And so to simplify that, it's basically I'm problem solving. Mm-hmm. What do you call it? Fashion is just like the umbrella term for that. You know, it's like a subcategory, my bad, within like the umbrella term. So basically, there's a lot of different divisions within design. And I feel like nowadays, in order to like solve problems, we need people who are able to do a lot of different things. So yeah, fashion is just one like lane that I.
So you don't like to be called a fashion designer?
I mean, you can call me a fashion designer. I don't consider myself a fashion designer, and it's not that I like don't like it. It's just like, well, that's what they see me as.
Yeah, I feel you. So tell us who your style represents.
Me?
Yes.
I take bits and pieces of that I'm interested in and things that I'm influenced by, and I just showcase it.
So, how do you actually know? What do you consider the facets of the fashion industry?
Repeat that again.
What do you consider the facets of the fashion industry?
The collaborative process.
So, do you just collaborate with a bunch of different people?
The thing is, if you don't know how, like, you're always going to have to talk to somebody to get something achieved. And nowadays, you're always going to have to, like, you know, collaboration is very broad, but you're always going to have to, like, talk to somebody to get, like, you know, to a manufacturer. You're always going to have to talk to like maybe an artist to like draw something for you.
So you need connections, basically.
Right. So you need to, I guess communication is probably the better word. You need to know how to communicate with different people in different industries.
I feel you. So how would you relate past and present fashion trends?
Well, trends have a 20-year cycle. So whatever was popular back then or was just messed around with back then is like modernized and expanded upon like now.
So you say like 80s would be, 90s would be in fashion right now?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I wear a lot of 90s things like windbreakers and...
Right. But what you're noticing is like, I don't know, stuff like cropped up pants. Yeah. Like, they're back, but they're modernized. So like maybe it's like a slimmer fit. Or, you know, some people are going with a more baggier fit, but they're using different materials.
Yeah, and I see a lot of overalls too. I don't really rock with overalls, but... It's like,
I mean, they're dope. I mean, it depends how you pull them off, though.
Oh, right. But how comfortable are you with working hands? How comfortable are you with working with your hands on models? Working hands on
with
models and designers. There you go.
Yeah. I'm only as comfortable as they are. So before I mentioned the collaborative process, I think that the most important thing to me is making sure that the bonding like part of like the collaborative process is like the foundation of things. We got to find like a middle ground. Like I've got to like bridge like our minds together and then figure out what the middle ground is so that we can work together and exploit whatever like thing that we have in common to benefit whatever we're trying to achieve.
So before you like do things, you just like talk.
Yeah.
Like a general.
Yeah. If I don't know you, then I'm gonna be so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because yeah.
Some people do that. They just random people they just take pictures of and stuff. But
right.
The designs you created are no doubt good enough. But who and which things were your inspiration while creating such designs?
You mean who and what? Okay. I would say music. Music falls like dead in the center of like a lot of the things I do. So this collection is called Pyromania, and the main inspiration was just I kept hearing lyrics about fire, and so I just wanted to translate that, put whatever image I was getting from whatever I was listening to onto the screen. And I had also read a quote that said, what matters is the way you walk through the fire. And so I wanted to give an image to that, give my interpretation on that.
Speaking of which, you're wearing your Pyromania pants right now, right?
I'm not getting up.
You don't have to get up. But I rock with them. They're really dope. Like,
yeah.
And so what skills, according to you, are necessary for a fashion designer?
Honestly, it's whatever you can bring to the table. Like, I don't think there's a bad skill. Whatever you can contribute to whatever you're trying to achieve is, the best skill that you can bring, or like the best skill, I guess.
So you just be, like drawing out your ideas? And
like,
then...
the way I do it is I do the bare maximum. Whatever you have, you do the most that you can with it. You know what I mean? So like I said before, I can't draw. I don't have an embroidery machine, but I have Illustrator or I have Photoshop. So I just use those tools to, the max, like to the max. Like I try to...
Maximum effort.
Exactly. Yeah. With whatever I have. Okay,
yeah. So last but not least, define your brand.
It's funny, it's an acronym, but I'm gonna keep that to myself. I think it's like more interesting when people can it's more interesting when people try to give a go at it and try to figure out what it is. But what I can say is that it's me, and kids like me, kids who at one point were lost and they're just trying to find their own way. You know what I mean?
So like Misfits type of thing, the Misfits?
Yeah, I mean, or, I often feel like kids are often misguided nowadays. They got to live up to standards that, are kind of archaic. So like, I kind of feel as though, you can make your own path. You just got to follow your gut, and you got to, have confidence in what you're able to do and, what you want to learn.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for the answers.
No problem.
Today we got to meet a man in the fashion industry. We wish him the greatest success wherever his future will take him. I'd like to thank Antonio Cuevas for joining us today.
No, yeah, it was a good experience. Glad to be here.
Thanks for joining us on Person to Person. Have a great day.
I can take a picture of you if you want to see.
Yeah, let him take a photo of you real quick just so he can
This has been a special episode of Person to Person with your host, Isaiah Hines. I'm your announcer, Marquand Albright. This is a Norwalk Community College production, directed by Rodrigo Cuevas.